Hello, and welcome to my Creative Critical Reflection, better known as a CCR. My name is Monica Gomez, candidate number 7181, and today I will be analyzing and reflecting on the process behind my music and entertainment magazine titled Starstruck. In this reflection, I will explore the creative decisions I made throughout the production process, including the design, representation, and conventions used to create a magazine that appeals to my target audience. Question 1. How does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? Well, my product both uses and slightly challenges magazine conventions to create something that feels familiar but still original. I followed a common music magazine convention, such as a bold masthead, a strong central image on the cover, as you may see, and also on the cover lines that promote exclusive stories, and a clean table of contents that guides the reader, basically. These conventions help the audience immediately recognize my product as a real magazine and understand its purpose. However, I also challenge conventions by keeping my design more minimal and artistic instead of overcrowded. Many music magazines uses a lot of bright colors and text to grab attention, but I chose a more muted color palette and intentional spacing. This makes my magazine feel more modern and mature, and it also reflects the tone of the music culture I am representing. My layouts focus more on mood and storytelling rather than just promotion. In terms of representation, my magazine represents young people who are creative, expressive, and connected to music as a form of identity. Instead of portraying artists as overly glamorous or unrealistic, I aim to show them as authentic and relatable. This challenges the stereotype that musicians must always look perfect or larger than life. I also avoided or sexualized imagery, especially women, which is common in some music magazines, believe it or not, especially back then. This was a conscious choice to represent artists respectfully and focus on their talent rather than appearance. Socially, my magazine touches on the idea of self-expression through music, which is a major part of youth culture today. Music is shown as a way to communicate emotions, experiences, and individuality. Overall, my product balances industry conventions with creative choices that reflect inclusivity, authenticity, and modern youth identity. Question 2. How does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as a real media text? My product engages audiences by being visually appealing, relatable, and easy to navigate. The cover is designed to immediately catch attention through strong imagery and bold typography, which invites the audience to want to open the magazine, basically. The cover lines tease stories that music fans would be interested in, such as artist features and behind-the-scenes contents. This creates curiosity and encourages engagement. Inside the magazine, I use clear layouts, readable fonts, and consistent color schemes, which helps readers stay interested without feeling overwhelmed. The table of content is simple and organized, allowing readers to easily find what they want. And I thought it was important because modern audiences technically prefer content that is quick to access and visually clean. I also structure my articles and features in a way that feels conversational rather than overly formal, making the magazine more approachable for teenagers and young adults. My target audiences would mainly be teenagers and young adults who are interested in music and creative culture. So basically, what I did was to connect with them. I decided to try to reflect the interests in my magazines, like values and aesthetics as well. The design feels modern and also social media influence, which really helps the audience feel like the magazine understands them. If my product were distributed as a real media text, it will likely exist in both print and digital formats. Physically, it could be also sold in bookstores or music stores. Digitally, it would be shared through a website or as an online magazine. Social media platforms like Instagram or TikTok will be used to promote featured artists, cover reveals, and short clips, helping expand its reach and attract a larger audience. Question 3. How did your production skills develop throughout this project? Well, throughout this project, my production skills improved significantly, especially in the design planning and attention to detail. I noticed that at the beginning, I mostly focused on how things looked visually, but as I progressed, I learned how important it was to combine design with purpose and meaning also. I became more intentional with every choice I made, from font selection to image placement. One major improvement was my understanding of layout and composition. Early drafts of my work were sometimes unbalanced or too empty, but over time, I learned how to use spacing, alignment, and hierarchy to guide the reader's eye. For example, I became better at deciding what should stand out on the most on like the page, what should remain secondary as well. I also improved in image selection and editing. I learned how to different angles, how to use the lighting or change it around, and framing can change the mood of the photo as well. Even if you don't realize it, all these small details do tend to create a more noticeable change afterwards. Instead of choosing images just because they look good, I basically began choosing them based on how well they match my magazine's theme and the message I wanted to portray. My editing skills also developed, allowing me to make images look more polished and professional. Additionally, my planning and organization skills grew. I learned how to plan images and as well as the pages in advance and think about how the magazine works as a whole, not just individual pages. Overall, this project did help me think more like a real media creator rather than just a student completing an assignment. Question 4. How did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online in this project? Well, technology did play a huge role in every stage of my project, from planning to final production. I used design software to create my magazine pages, which helped me experiment with layouts, typography, and color schemes. These tools allow me to move elements around easily and make changes quickly, which was essential during the editing process. For hardware, I use a computer, possibly a phone or camera, to gather images. Even when using existing photos or edited visuals, hardware was important for viewing designs accurately and making sure everything looked clear and high quality. The size of the screen and resolution did help me judge whether my text was readable and my images were sharp. Online tools were also very important. I used the internet for research, looking at real music magazines to understand conventions and inspirations. This helped me compare my work to professional examples and improve it. I also use online platforms like EduBlocks to document my progress, reflect on decisions, and present my work in an organized way. Additionally, online resources help me learn new techniques such as layout tips or design inspiration. And like overall, integrating software, hardware, and online tools allow me to work efficiently, creatively, and professionally, making my final product much stronger and more realistic as a media text. To conclude, the creation of my music and entertainment magazine, Starstruck, allowed me to explore the many creative and technical elements involved in media production. Throughout this project, I learned how important it is to carefully consider every decision from the layout and color scheme to the typography, imagery, and overall branding of the magazine. Each of these elements plays a significant role in shaping how the audience interprets the product and how effectively it communicates its purpose. During the production process, I focused on making sure that my magazine followed the conventions typically found in music and entertainment magazines, while also developing a unique identity. By doing this, I aim to create something that will feel both professional and visually engaging to my target audience. I also paid close attention to representation and the way the artists and music culture were portrayed, ensuring that the magazine reflected themes of creativity, individuality, and modern music culture. Another important aspect of this project was learning how media products are constructed with a specific audience in mind. By researching existing magazines and analyzing their design choices, I was able to better understand how elements such as cover lines, images, and page layouts work together to attract readers and communicate meaning. Overall, this project helped me develop a deeper understanding of the planning, creativity, and critical thinking required in a media production. Creating Starstruck allowed me to apply the knowledge and skills I gained throughout the course, while also expressing my own creative vision. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my creative critical reflection.